Get your films on with the Blerds.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blerds.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned.
Ridiculous.
Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello and welcome to episode 128 of the Film Blerds. I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. Uncle Jeffrey, a.k.a. J. Otis Dynamite, a.k.a. Praetorian Jeff, Revengeman Button, he who remains, Patty Rocksmith, Jobu Tupaki, Little Tom, this motherfucker, to be determined, a.k.a. the Black Giovanni Ribisi, Chocolate Tarantino, a.k.a. Ebony Spielberg. And I would like to introduce my friend and co-host, as always.
Hi, my name is Brandon Norwood, a.k.a. Hero Protagonist, a.k.a. the true father of Joe, Kanye, and Drake's kids. Them checks is cashing, baby. a.k.a. Poppy Chulo, a.k.a. the Glizzy King, a.k.a. Mr. Krusty, a.k.a. the Lethal Protector, a.k.a. it's Morbin time, a.k.a. Ezekiel Sims, bad ADR, never matches my mouth. I'm out of a kung fu film. A.k.a. my biggest pet peeve is sports, because I don't like seeing grown men sweat on each other. A.k.a. I want a Subaru Outback with mass strippers in the back giving shape-ups. A.k.a. Rough McGruff. A.k.a. These nuts. And A.k.a. B-Wood, the Ma D. If you don't call me Listen Al Gain, you get a knife to the gut. I'm gonna get into some fucking real quick news. Over the weekend, it broke that the Russos are coming back to do the next two Avengers movies. And it reminds me of two people who are terrible on their own and realize, like, man, we broke up. Let's get back together. Like, we tried other people. It's not working. It's like that woman you hate, and then you realize, oh no, I hate other people more. So I'll stay with a person who I understand, and we both hate each other, and we could make that work.
Yeah, that sums up Marvel's relationship with the Russos. Because
Kevin straight up was like, they came as soon as they heard Secret Wars, they came back. They're like, yo, can we do it? And Kevin's like, ha, get out of here, heathens. And then that nigga went down his list of directors, and now he's coming back like, so and I'm not gonna get into the list of directors just because we keep this for brevity's sake.
Right.
But man, how the mighty have fallen. Because even Sean Levy was like, I don't think so.
Right. Because, like, here's the thing. The Avengers, right? That's the Russos. That they, like, Joss gave us the first two. Thank you very much, you toxic motherfucker.
Go cash your residual checks. Like, I don't feel bad for him.
Right.
Like, I still watch Buffy and Angel.
Right. But Infinity War, like all the Captain Americas after like the first one, Endgame, those belong to the Russos, right?
Yeah.
Like the Russos should stick solely in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because out of all of the directors who have, the high profile directors who have attached themselves to Marvel movies, it seems that they are the only ones who truly get it, right? They know how to navigate Kevin.
Right, because you get all these directors who have a clear vision, and so far, it's only worked out twice. Once because you fired the motherfucker, and he's made two previous ones. And then another time because this was, well, three times, because the other time it was a co-production between another studio.
Right.
And now this time it's like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I've been saying it was for like the past like 5 months. It's a Ryan Reynolds film, not a Kevin Feige movie.
Right. Yeah.
So Sean Levy had some some protection.
Yeah, 100%. Because we'll get into it, but like you said,
I get why he said no, because I guarantee you, like, once Ryan's like, yeah, I guess I'm not gonna be a producer. I'm just gonna be producer on Deadpool only. He'll be like, he's probably like, oh no, I'm good then.
Right? Yeah. You know, like
He's
you
like,
want to play with your friends.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, if I gotta deal with this guy directly, no, thank you.
That's the only reason these Ryan Reynolds, Sean Levy team ups work is because they're friends. They get each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Free Guy a rewatch for the next episode.
Right. But I mean, welcome back, Russos. At least they're not gonna fuck up the Avengers movies. Right? Like, of all the Marvel
Knock on
movies,
wood.
Knock on wood. At least
let me knock on that motherfucker.
At least we'll get two good Marvel Avengers movies out of this. Everything else leading up to that, who the fuck knows? But yeah. We'll get two solid Avengers movies.
And we'll get into that in the main review too. Because those motherfuckers know. All right, so Jeff, what have you watched lately?
What are you watching?
All right. So because of the movie, our main review, I decided to go back and watch the first two X-Men movies, right? Because even though you don't need to know the lore to enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine, it fucking helps. Yeah. Once again, I stand by my statement that Bryan Singer is not a good director, right? He's competent. I'll give him that, right? But that first X-Men movie is fucking rough. The dialogue, I never realized how clunky the fucking dialogue is. The first half hour is literally a tour of the X-Mansion with Patrick Stewart giving exposition. It's like you're literally on a tour
so many times,
right? You're
Patrick Stewart as Professor X giving a tour of the X Mansion with exposition. Good job.
Thank you. Like that's a 3 modifier fucking alliteration.
Yo, that shit's hilarious because it's true though. And the way you had it set up, that was perfect. You knocked that shit out the park.
But literally the first half hour is this old man giving you a tour of his school.
That's so disrespectful, that description. I love it. It's so disrespectful.
It felt like a college tour. And over here's the gym, our X gym, where they do X things.
Yo, y'all don't understand. Shit was so bad when this movie came out that we're all just like, oh, wow, that was good. Oh, shit, they didn't fuck it up. Yeah. And it's just what Jeff said in hindsight.
In fucking hindsight. And I tweeted about this last night. That fucking font that every movie from like 1999 to 2005, they thought that same blocky ass futurist ass font, right? Every movie, you said like, oh, strap in.
Yo, Kevin Feige straight up came out and said like, yo, the reason why they had fucking black leather suits is because at the time the Matrix came out, and I was just like, all right, I can't wait to get these guys in comic accurate suits, and the money people at the studio were just like, the fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about comic accurate? They're like, the fuck? We don't even know if this shit's gonna work as is. They're like, the Matrix just came out, put them in black leather. And I was like, yeah, that explains a lot.
Fox be foxing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, that explains a lot about how they ran that franchise.
Oh.
Yo, the Matrix came out, put them in black leather.
And give them guns. Give them guns.
Why does this dork have that visor on his face?
Right. So like the first, the fact that we got a franchise out of that first movie, that's a deal with the devil, because the movie is competent, right? Like, I'm not saying it's bad, but like 25 years later, it's like, and we caped hard for this shit. Like,
bro, you might as well just say the movie shit, because the way you talking about it, it's like the most backhanded compliment. It's like watching, it's like a pimp backhanding his bottom bitch. Like, yo, you beautiful, but you ugly. You beautiful. Like, damn.
But it gave us, like, you know, it gave us Hugh Jackman, and that's about it. Like, right? Because everyone else had a career, or
their career stayed exactly where it was.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like, the only one who's managed to level up recently is James Marsden. Like,
yeah,
now we all like respect him, but that's mostly because of Westworld. So when he pops up and shit, we're just like, oh, cool, man. Like,
yeah,
glad to see.
It took 25 years, right? Like, it took like for us to give him respect.
Because they made Cyclops a bitch. You watch X-Men 97 and like, yo, that motherfucker gets angry, like angry on some like, I'm going to beat you. Like when remember that episode where he gives the interview to the reporter? I was just like, yo, is he gonna hit her, bro? Like,
and like, here's the thing, right? Like, as an X-Men fan, right? I always like Wolverine was cool, right? But Cyclops was that motherfucker, right?
Because like, shoots lasers out his eyes.
Dude could literally
destroy mountains
with his fucking eyes.
Yeah,
right.
Had a bad chick,
and he's like, in this movie he's a cuck, right? But an angry cuck.
Because these movies might as well be like Wolverine, and then in parentheses,
Wolverine and Friends.
No, Wolverine, and then in parentheses, and the X-Men.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
that's what all these were.
And if you look, there's no chemistry between Hugh Jackman and I forget who plays. I want to say Rebecca Romijn Stamos, but that's Mystique.
A character that whole situation when they casted Jennifer Lawrence, I was like, y'all didn't expect this chick to blow up, and now like a D-list character we all don't care about is now starring in these.
Right, exactly. But like, there's no chemistry between Wolverine and Jean Grey.
Jansen. I don't know how to say her name.
Famke Janssen.
Famke Janssen.
Like, between the two of them, I don't even know in the first movie why they like. What's the attraction? Right.
It's the they gotta base it on the comics and keep the fans happy, because you know that's a big part of X-Men is the love triangle.
Right, but like, it's not apparent on screen.
I mean,
it's like
the script says, bro?
The script says I gotta have the hots for you. So
better love triangle than Twisters.
Truly. Yeah. So fucking X1. It was a miracle that we got as far as we did, right? With this franchise. And after that, I watched X2, which I always thought X1 was better than X2, right? That was back then.
That is some like I smoke dust type shit, dog. I love you, but damn, like that's some like real dusty comments.
Right, just because I but I hadn't seen X2 in 10 years. I hadn't seen X1 in 10 years, right? And I think it was just like some personal hatred against Bryan Singer that I said that, because everyone's like, oh, X2 is so good. I was like, nah, I'm fucking X2, blah, blah, blah. So I watched X2 as well. Far superior on every fucking level, right? This was the movie they should have started out with, honestly.
This is the movie that actually turned everybody against Bryan Singer in the first place, too. Like, everybody had a terrible time making this. So much so that people clapped when Halle Berry told him to kiss my black ass.
Yeah, I get it. And this was like the start of the fucking...
Yeah, because I think this is where homie's pill addiction was really taking over.
Yeah. But like I said, I never thought he was a good director. He was competent, but like, despite himself, he made a good movie with X2. Despite himself. But yeah, I'm gonna go through and just finish the rest of the X-verse. Right?
Yo, you stop after Days of Future Past because Apocalypse is bad. And then Dark Phoenix, I'm just like, yo, y'all get a participation trophy.
I've I've got to watch Dark Phoenix because it's the only one that I haven't seen at all. Like all the other X movies, I've seen. I just haven't seen in fucking 10, 15 years.
I'm gonna give you a line of dialogue from Dark Phoenix.
Sure.
Mystique is pissed off at Charles. She's like, yeah, the way the women are running this show, the team should be called X Women. Or she's saying, or it was something like, the way this team is run, it should be called X Women.
Is that a compliment or an insult? And also, who wrote that? That's mad misogynistic and toxic, but
they're trying. Okay. It feels like they're trying to be progressive.
Yeah,
and that joke did not land. It sucked.
Yeah.
Listen, man, it's wild to me. Simon Kinberg's still working. I don't know how you fuck up the same storyline twice. Still managed to make a movie after that, and you couldn't even make a cool fucking action movie.
Right, like our disdain for Simon Kinberg is apparent from all of these episodes. Go back and listen to what we had to say about the 355. That it fucking flavor.
Speaking of, and I'm going to say this again in the review, I got fucking mad during the end credits when I saw his name, or no, it was the opening credits when I saw his name as an executive producer. I'm like, stop giving that motherfucker money. I don't care.
But like he signed a good deal. Like he will be attached to all of the X-Men properties from here into Memoriam, just because of his deal. So hopefully they just don't let him do anything.
Well, I mean that's apparent because I read the whole production history and development, and they're just like, yeah, we had to give him an executive producer credit, and I was like, yeah, that's what I figured. And so you know what comes along with that is money.
Yeah, just put him in the cuck chair.
Exactly. That's what I'm not understanding. I'm like, bro, if they're gonna keep making these, go somewhere. Just go somewhere and just live for the rest of your life collecting checks for every new movie on top of the residuals. Like, we don't need any more Simon Kinberg written or directed. If you want to produce, even become a producer, dog.
Well, I mean, he's producing that show on Apple Plus that I really like, Sugar.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm only 3 episodes in because,
Well, he produced another show for Apple Plus, and I'm just like, all right, well, maybe you should just be a producer, dog.
Yeah.
Just stay away from writing and directing.
Yeah, 100%.
But even his track record as a producer, that's why Fantastic Four the way it is. He's the one who got Josh Trank fired.
Yeah, man. So
on some
Simon
real
Kinberg.
petty shit. Yeah.
Too much power, too little talent. So there we go. So that's X1 and X2, X-Men and X2. God, so I'm going to go through the rest of it.
Early 2000s was a dark time. We had nothing but nu metal, reggaeton, and pop punk.
Yeah, man. Like,
this is the anthem, throw you down. Yo, all those songs sound the same. All those bands sound the same. Like, you can't tell me All American Rejects and Fall Out Boy are 2 different bands. Like, yo, you can't. Like, when white people tell me that, I'm just like, wait, my mind blows. I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, Sum 41 and Blanket 182 are different? What?
Maybe it's like black jobs. Maybe it's white music. Maybe we can't hear. Maybe there's a register that we can't hear the nuance and the differences. Oh, shit. So the early 2000s. Wow. So you do yourself a favor. You have Disney Plus. Go check out fucking baby Hugh Jackman. And look, like, watching Deadpool and Wolverine, right? And how jacked he is now. Like, he looks fat in X-Men, right? And like he's in shape.
Oh, right? No, because
in the X-Men, but like,
okay, yeah, all right,
he's like in shape. He looks better than I'll ever look in my whole entire life in X-Men. but like he looks like garbage compared to however old he was back then. 25-year-old Hugh Jackman looks like garbage compared to 50-year-old Hugh Jackman.
You know what's wild is like watching Deadpool and Wolverine last night when we got to that big scene where like they really show off homie's physique.
Right.
I was just like, that's insane that he looks like that. And he considers the best he's ever looked in his life was during Days of Future Past.
I gotta go
that
back.
is the most muscles he's ever put on was for Days of Future Past, because he shot the Wolverine and Days of Future Past back to back, and he had like 2 months off, and he told his trainer, he's like, yo, you think I could get bigger for the next one? And they're like, yeah, probably.
Like, cause like this one got muscles on muscles in this one, but back in the X-Men days, it's like, let's put down the fucking donut, chubby. I'm not body shaming. I'm just saying, like, they really didn't care back in the 2000s, right? Like,
I mean, the only person who cared was Nolan, because I keep reading how when it came time to start shooting Batman Begins, you know, he just made the masochist where he was like a stick, and then he put on so much muscle. He came into the first day of shooting, and Nolan's like, the fuck? He's like, why? He's like, why do you look like an Olympic weightlifter? Like, yo, you gotta get like, you could slim down, like tone down the creatine.
Oh, all right.
He was looking like Ben Affleck.
So moving on from that, we're gonna go into TV because I don't want to do any more movies. We'll keep this kind of comic book centric this episode. The last episode of this season of The Boys. So they actually had to change the name of the episode the day of because of all the shit that went on with Trump.
Damn, what was the name of the episode originally?
Like Assassination Tango or something like that.
Oh, yo, have some balls and keep that shit.
Right, like I get it. Like, because this episode, honestly, 10 years ago, if this show had come out and you looked at this storyline, you'd be like, this is cute. This is some fantastical ass shit, right? This would never happen in America. You go fast forward to 2024, you look at this storyline and it's like, oh, this shit could happen, and this is how it might happen. Right? Just take out the superheroes, and this is spot on, right? Like it's not even parody anymore, right? At this point, it's not tongue in cheek anymore, because like we're, especially over the last couple of weeks, we're living in this shit, right? The whole entire episode takes place on January 6th. With a fucking coup and an insurrection. Right, like they're not even trying to be subtle anymore. Well, I enjoy that. Just to jump in, I want to let this episode state the record. This is a moment in time of my feelings right now. To what Jeff has said, how I feel right now is whoever wins, we get in a civil war either way. Yeah, I mean, I was as political as we're gonna get, but I do not disagree wholeheartedly. It's just for two different reasons, and then one same exact reason. Yeah. It's that same reason, right? Like, I'm just like, yo, listen. I was just like, man, I am going to build. You're gonna see me like Michael Shannon building the storm bunker, and now I'm gonna have to go to the town picnic and flip over a table. Everybody think I'm crazy? You think I'm crazy? And like, here's what we're honestly we're gonna keep this on a fucking a movie sort of tangent. Y'all motherfuckers out there can't deal with a black female Jedi, right? Okay. So like, right? That's like, what I'm saying. Because if she does win, I'm just like, all right, let me build this storm shelter. Let me stock up. I'm gonna be like John Goodman in 10 Cloverfield Lane. That's exactly who I'm becoming. Yeah, like y'all motherfuckers can't deal with like a black female hero in any of your fucking fantasy, right? Your sci-fi.
y'all fucking made sure the Marvels made no money. So
right? Like black. I can only imagine the names that you motherfuckers are concocting to throw at this woman.
We are literally going to have to start open carrying. And I mean to the point where like everybody can see each other's pistols just so they know, like, all right, let me not pull mines out. Because then we all dying.
All right, yeah, but like, yeah.
So yeah. What I'm trying to say is prepare for a civil war and buy a gun. Because going to the grocery store might become a whole event.
Yeah,
you're trying to get yourself some baby diapers, and next thing you know, Johnny got a problem with Rodney, and now we all got problems.
Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus. Y'all need to read books. But anyway, the fucking the Boys season 4 closer. It wasn't funny, right? Like, but it wasn't meant to be funny. But it's like, okay, this isn't fun anymore. This is like this.
Maybe that's why they were like, yeah, season 5 is it.
Yeah, like I don't even know, like, because the way the season ends, like it ends dark. It ends real dark, and like I said, I fuck with the show. I still fuck with this season. I fuck with this episode, but it's not cute. It's not like they're not trying to be cute anymore. Right, the politics are right there out in the open. They're not trying to be subversive. It's like, and I love how everybody who was in love with Homelander before, right? Like who didn't get what
which is
the character.
Wild. That's fucking wild that people actually like that character. Because even the first 2 seasons I watched, I'm like, I hate this guy.
Right. And then you're not supposed to like him, but like to hear that people like, hey, when did Homelander become the bad guy? It's like he was always the fucking bad guy.
What?
Right? You're not supposed to like him.
He's never
but
yeah.
Like the creator of the show had gotten a Twitter battles with motherfuckers. It's like, if you're just now realizing that that Homelander is not the good guy, then I don't want you watching the show.
That is fucking wild.
Right?
Like, even when I stopped watching it, like, homie straight up took Billy's kid and wife and was, like, holding them hostage in a domestic relationship. I'm like, dog, this is fucked up.
He only gets worse, too. Right? But the same people who love Homelander are the same motherfuckers who fucking let's go Brandon. Or whatever, whatever that shirt says, whatever that chant is.
I am. Yeah, I'm scared, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, after Sunday, I was like, oh, okay, well.
As soon as I saw that shit, I was like, wah, wah.
I was like, we can barely handle 2 white men going at each other, dog.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't
an educated black woman? Oh.
Yeah, man. I was just like, this is what, no offense to Kamala, but like, this is the reason why we're in this situation, because we had 8 years with a black dude.
Yeah. It's like, they're not going to give us a black woman. Right?
I was like, that's exactly why we got the other dude, is because we had 8 years of a black guy. Right. It's just that simple. Right.
We had to put a white person, a white male against a white male. It's sort of like Godzilla versus Kong. Like, let them fight.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And now I'm just like, fuck. I know this is coming off as wild racist, but I mean, that's America, dog. Like if slavery was just abolished 60 years ago, 80.
Yeah, I'm just.
What do you want me to say? Like, y'all could get mad, but like, Jim Crow just ended 40 years ago.
Yeah, so like this shit's. But anyway, we're a movie podcast, but we're also 2 black dudes who have to live in this world.
Yeah, yes we do, and I'm reminded of that shit every day.
Every motherfucker, and even the privilege last night at the screening was apparent.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's like, motherfucker, I don't get anywhere early. I got there at 6:30, and you're still gonna butt me in line? Like, I was literally the first person there. You were the second person there, right? You're usually the first person. And still we're going to get fucking butted? Fuck you.
Yo, you saw I didn't make sure that happened. I was like, yo, I'm getting our seats, baby. I am getting our seats. Like, even the manager was like, nah, he goes in first. He goes in first.
Yeah. And they even still tried to, like, circumvent. Like,
Listen, the IMAX I love, whenever we have press screenings, I always make sure to get there like an hour and a half ahead of time just because motherfuckers will get there early.
Yeah.
And there's a seat I specifically love sitting in. And to me, the only comfortable place in that theater. So I try to get there to get that seat and then make sure Jeff's with me also, because those are the seats that literally everybody on earth
covets.
Yeah.
Covets.
Yeah.
Because it's like directly in the center, right?
But
at
you got
the top.
room. Right. And you got room.
And you can get up and go to piss.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And you can see the full IMAX screen from there.
Everything, right?
But it's still it still encompasses you even in that row.
Yeah. Yeah. So the boys so white people.
Yo, because homie, I didn't know if I told you this, but for last week, some dude who just he's a Twitter personality and he's now just coming to screenings. And since he has his own blog, he got mad because I got my seat that I wanted in the same theater last week for Twisters. He went to his girlfriend loudly, "Oh, these seats okay?" She's looking at him like, "Yeah, nigga, we fine. Like this is more than fine." I was like, "Yeah, shut the fuck up."
And like, here's the
behind
thing.
me anyway.
And like, here's the thing. All of these reviewers, Twitter personalities, whatever like that for one of the movies, right? They want to talk all hard and shit like that. But like, I could beat you in a street fight.
Oh yeah, this dude was a nerd. Right. Like, he was a nerd. Like, I was surprised he pulled in like a chick who could be a Barbie in Barbie.
Oh, because you know, he's got X amount of followers, right? And she's clout chasing. But like, most of these motherfuckers, like, they talk big, right? Like, they won't get their ass beat.
Oh right? Yeah. I mean, the black dude, you know, the weird black dude with the hat and the backpack, who cut you guys, but I stood in front of him. Right. I was like, nah, if these motherfuckers try to jump in, I was like, I don't care if they got a Deadpool jersey on, I'll fuck you up. He's just like, bro, he's like, yo, bro, listen, I know you got dreads and I know you tough, bro, but don't do that because you still haven't seen the movie yet. Like, don't do
we wait until after the movie to stop motherfuckers. But like, I think as black film journalists, we all sort of know, as like, all these motherfuckers like to talk big and bad, but like, if you see me on the street, you're gonna keep your mouth shut.
Yo, listen, with us last night were the twins. My friends, we'll just name them the twins. Shout out to the Rangelis. Yeah, listen, all four of us could probably beat the living shit out of 90% of those people there.
Right. Like, and I don't even fight.
If push comes to shove, like 90% of those people, I was like, oh yeah, like me against you, you're dead.
Right. Like, and I'm not even a fighter, but like, if I can size you up and say like, yeah, I could take you.
Yeah.
Then you in trouble.
Like, I know there's probably like 10, 20 people who I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to lose. But the rest of those motherfuckers, I'm like, oh yeah, like y'all need this.
We should have a film reviewer fight club.
Death match? Hell yeah.
Like, I'd be into that shit.
I know who I'm gonna fight.
I got my motherfucker picked out. Anyway, so that was the boy tangent. That was the boys season 4 closer. Watch that shit if you want to be depressed for the state of liberty in America. But if you want good entertainment and pretty good writing, it's I can't wait for season 5. Season 5 is going to be all out fucking shit show in the best way. Moving on from that, the last episode of House of the Dragon, it's good. Like, I don't know what to say. Without giving away a lot of shit. It's right now the show is less about battles and more about sort of winning the hearts and minds of the people, which is honestly how you win wars, is public opinion. And this is some slick shit, like shit you wouldn't think of for Game of Thrones. So I am wholly back in the Game of Thrones camp after not really fucking with the first season. The second season is totally pulled me back in, and honestly, I can't wait for season 3. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna. All right. One more TV review, just because after Twisters last week, I watched the OG Twister, and everything Brandon said last week, I doubled down on. It's a fucking far better movie. Right?
Yo, that fucking movie fucking slaps, yo. Because when people tell me, "Oh, it's not good," I'm like, "When's the last time you watch it, nigga?"
Yeah, like it's a fun movie. It knew exactly what it was.
But you see what I mean? Where they drop that fucking oil tanker, it's like one of the biggest fireballs I've ever seen in a movie, and they have motherfuckers
drove through it.
I'm just like, yo, bro, that is some Twilight Zone shit. Like I'm trying to Twilight Zone somebody.
They built a house to drive through, right? Like so. So what we saw in Twisters was cute, right? But like. That was like nice try. It was cute, but like Yonda Bond fucking did it. The best to ever do it, right? Like, but after that, I was on a whole entire like tornado movie tangent, right? Because like, yo, like I gotta keep this adrenaline going from Twisters. And so I watched a whole bunch of other Twister adjacent shows and movies, and I'll get into those next week after I give my review of 4DX Twister's experience.
Every critic on Earth has written a review for 4DX. Like they've done their normal review, and then word got out, and now every critic on Earth is writing a review for Twisters and 4DX. So next episode, you'll be getting a review from Jeff on Twisters 4DX.
Yeah, so like, but we'll see. But I decided to go back and watch Storm Chasers, the show. Right? It was like, I guess it was on TLC or Discovery. It's on HBO Max. You know, because why the fuck not? Is it not on HBO Max?
Yeah, a company that's probably going to be split up again.
Yeah, it shouldn't have. Like, we'll get into that next week too. But even they know, like, they fully admitted that they fucked up.
Yo, I feel bad. Warner Brothers has rebranded like 8 times within like the past 5 years.
Like Warner Brothers is the fucking Diddy of the fucking studio game. Like they just like, oh, okay, just another. All right, here's another name.
It reminds me of the Weekenders, where it was this Disney cartoon called The Weekenders, and there was a running joke that they'd go to this pizza place every weekend, and you'd always see a crane putting in a new sign with a new theme, and the same waiter would play like a clown one week, then he'd be a magician, like, oh, here's your pizza, or he'd be like a roller skater.
I mean, honestly, Warner Brothers is that storefront that's right next to Bob's Burgers.
Yeah,
in the beginning, right? So like every week, grand opening, grand closing, different store.
It's the Spirit Halloween. They'll never be out of business, but they're never around. Every once in a while, they'll pop up, and then they're gone.
Every time a real store dies, it comes back as a Spirit Halloween. Spirit Halloween is the zombie of the retail game.
It's wild how they stay in business. Like, that's one shell corporation. Like, bro.
Like, your business model is, all right, October.
Yep.
How's your business model October? It's just a month.
Like, I feel like they send people and they just sniff empty spaces like... Spirit Halloween for 2 months, and then we'll come back.
Like, so I want to write a skit where a motherfucker just walks into a store, right? Like in Poltergeist, like the old man in Poltergeist, and he looks around. Oh, this will do nicely. He'll walk out. It's like he's cursed your store to fail.
So it becomes Spirit Halloween.
Right? He's the Grim Reaper. He's the Grim Reaper of consumerism.
Spirit Halloween's the only reason why strip malls still exist. Like, there's so many strip malls that have so many closed storefronts, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a Spirit Halloween.
It's gonna be a nice.
Like Quakerbridge Mall is getting a Spirit Halloween. You know what used to be Sears?
Sears, yeah, every year.
Sears is gonna be Spirit Halloween.
That's how I know. That's how I know it's October. Is the fucking rotting husk of Sears.
I was just
becomes
like,
a Spirit Halloween.
Spirit Halloween managed to take over an entire anchor of the mall for 2 months out of the year. That is crazy. Like, you got JCPenney where you could buy anything, and then Spirit Halloween has 2 floors.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Shit. This is a wild episode. See, we got infected from last night's fucking screening. Now we're all fucking silly. I'm
running on 4 hours of sleep.
That also, because fuck New Jersey Transit. But anyway, Storm Chasers.
And fuck Disney, dog, because that shit started fucking 30 minutes late.
And no Ryan Reynolds. But anyway, Storm Chasers. What can I say? It's a bunch of nerds going around chasing storms. It's not nearly as exciting as you would think. I don't know how this fucking thing got 5 seasons. Everybody's goddamn annoying, right? Like, you put the worst people in, like, you could on TV, and then you decide to put them in a giant metal coffin and drive around chasing storms. It is I can't even enjoy the fucking excitement of the tornado watching, because these motherfuckers are so busy screaming at each other and getting so amped up and excited. And I know it's reality TV, and the producers were like, yeah, I want you to ask more like an asshole. Yeah, I want you to scream a little louder. But it just gets so fucking annoying because, right? They're nowhere near as sexy as Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton.
Yo, like, man, that's the thing is, like, Helen Hunt is not my type, but something about her in Twisters, I'm like, damn, like, yeah, like Heartland hillbilly.
But she's not even like, she don't look like a hillbilly. Like, I've never seen a hillbilly that looks like that. She got all her teeth, like both titties are the same size. Like, she's not married to her cousin. But yeah, so Storm Chasers, if you really want a storm chasing fix after watching Twisters, Storm Chasers, I honestly, I watched half the first episode, skipped to the end, and then I watched the very last episode to see if any of them died. Which they didn't. Spoiler alert. There you go. Storm Chasers. Fucking nerds. So Brandon, what have you watching lately?
So I'm going to start with some music. I want to give a shout out to Childish Gambino's new album, Bando Stone, soundtrack for the movie. I think I'll like it a little more once I see the movie.
I can't wait for this fucking movie, though. It seems wild.
Yeah, like as an album, and sadly, the last Childish Gambino album, like, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Like, if this is what you're going to go out on, it's not bad, but, like, you could go out stronger. But again, I think I might like it more once I see the fucking movie, because they do have dialogue from the fucking movie.
Oh, really? Wow.
In the album. But also, there's a whole track by Krungbin. Shout out to Krungbin.
Okay.
Also, I want to give a shout out. Keep forgetting to shout this out. Kaytranada's Timeless. I love your first album, 99.9%. And then your second album, Bubba, I wasn't a fan of at all. And now you're back. Timeless fucking slaps. All right, let's get into some TV. start with the Acolyte. I see what they're doing now that this season's over, but I don't know if it was worth a whole season of getting to where we got to.
Can I skip all the other bullshit and just watch the last 2 episodes?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Because like I keep on hearing that from you and from other people and like the Twitter that it's interesting by the end, but I don't want to have to go through all that other bullshit.
Yeah, I'm interested to know. So watch the last 2 episodes, and then if you're not crazy about it, it looks like that's going to be the extent of our Acolyte coverage, because I'm not afraid to just drop a show now. Like, I just realized I'm getting older, time's more precious. There's other things I like to do.
All right. Yeah. So I'll watch the last 2 episodes and I'll see if it's worth it. Like, if I like those last 2 episodes, is it worth going back to like fill it? Because I watched the first 2 episodes. I was like, man.
The one episode where they all die is worth watching.
Wait, which episode is that?
Like 4 or 5. Like, them niggas all die in one episode.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I was like, oh, this show's making bold choices, but the storytelling and writing are terrible.
Right. Well,
and they started introducing Darth Plagueis into this. He is the OG Sith. He makes a cameo at a point.
Okay.
Darth Plagueis is the one who can create life from the Force. Palpatine mentioned him in episode 3. He's like, yeah, Darth Plagueis could bring people to life. He even resurrected a few people. I was like, oh, so Darth Plagueis impregnated your mom, Anakin.
Okay. All right. Oh, all right. Let me watch.
He's saying, like, because he's literally the dude who could make things out of the Force, including people.
All right, let me watch those last 2 episodes and see what it's about.
Yeah, so the Acolyte. I really do like where this show went and where it's heading, but I just don't. I don't want to watch anymore.
Right, doesn't have any. You don't have the energy. I get it.
I'm sorry, y'all. Like, Star Wars, like the internet and just the quality of this shit has just taken it out of me of ever trying to discuss this, because it's
dealing with the fans. It's like dealing with this. Being a Star Wars fan means constantly hating yourself and others.
All right. So I'm going to talk about Hitmonkey. Dropped last Thursday. The first season premiered in November of 2021. It is now July of 2024. And they treated this like they treated the first season. Like, oh, yeah, here you go. Like, we're surprised, too. We're surprised too. So here you go. And maybe see for 3, maybe. It's wild how much of a higher profile MODOK had, because they came out around the same time. And MODOK just came and everybody was like, oof. And that shit got canceled swiftly, but Hitmonkey got renewed. That's wild. That's wild that Kevin let this happen. This second season happened, honestly.
He probably forgot about it. He's got bigger fires to put out.
So hopefully we'll get a Hitmonkey season 3, because season 2 is entertaining. Like, I ain't gonna tell you, like, this ain't groundbreaking storytelling, but if you just want to be entertained, it's an entertaining show. And like,
how was season 1?
It was all right. It was all right. Like, season 2 is definitely an improvement, and they do a role reversal by the end of the season where I'm like, oh, that means next season is going to be wild.
Okay.
If they do a 3rd season. If not, then cool. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I'm cool with it. Real cool with it. Kite Man. Hell yeah. It's fine.
I'm sorry. Is that the title?
Yes. Kite Man. Kite dash man. : Hell yeah.
Sure.
It can't just be Kite Man. Yeah, I know.
Cool. Okay, sure.
It is a pale imitation of Harley Quinn. It's not bad, but it's not good. Like, I watch it and I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
I mean, because like the first season of Harley Quinn was kind of slow to get its footing. Like,
but I was more invested in it from the jump than I am this.
Yeah. All right. Like, when you told me that this thing was happening, I was like, what the fuck? And then I saw. Well, no, I'm sorry. HBO Max shoved the trailer down my throat.
It was it was literally announced as a post-credit scene on season 4 of Harley Quinn. They're like, oh yeah, so just stuck around like an idiot because y'all are nerds. Here, this is also what we're doing. Surprise.
Right.
And now HBO Max is like, yeah, here you go, plebeians. Surprise. We'll roll this shit out week to week. So
Cool.
the first 2 episodes are up and then weekly.
All right. So, like, are you going to stick around?
Yeah, I'll stick around for the season and then, probably ditch it.
Okay. Fair.
Treating everything like a high class escort. I'm done now.
You can go now.
Yeah. Payment is by the door. Never let me see you again. Okay, let's go to My Adventures with Superman. Season 2, man. Damn. Like, this is the final episode of season 2. I was just like, I don't know how they're going to wrap this motherfucker up. And they managed to do it in 25 minutes, but it doesn't feel rushed at all.
Right. Okay.
Lots of close calls to the point where I'm sitting there sweating. Like, why am I sweating watching a fucking kid show, bro? This show, I'm so glad it got renewed for season 3 though, because like, this show fucking rules. But if it didn't, you could tell the people making this show weren't sure. So it's just like, all right, we're not sure how this is gonna go, so we'll just make sure,
roll the dice,
yeah, and make sure this is a ending if we don't get a 3rd season. Because if this show did get canceled, I'd be pissed. But then I would get to this episode and I'd be like, oh, okay. Like that. If that was it, I would be happy. Yeah. But they still left a lot of threads open, but not open to the point where like, oh, well, I'd be like, oh, yeah, well, they'll take care of it because they're Superman and Supergirl. Like they got that shit. But yeah, I'm glad we're getting a 3rd season. Brainiac, man, I'm like watching this show. I'm just like, how are they doing Brainiac? The best I've ever seen Brainiac done. Like, and we can't do this shit in movies, man.
Because and we've seen this before. The people who do animated shit care for the most part, right? Because like it's such an intensive process to make an animated TV show. Like you got to be all in and care about this shit. And do it right, because there's no reshoots, right?
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, damn, bro. I was just like watching this. I'm like, yo, we could have literally just gotten all of this if Zach didn't have his head shoved up his own ass so much. Like, it's basically they done Man of Steel, except good
with hope.
Yeah. Like it's like watching Superman with in a Man of Steel anime.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe I'll do that this weekend. I'll sit down and binge those first 2 seasons.
And even when they have the kiddie humor in this, I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm just like, oh yeah, it fits because it's Superman,
right?
Because sometimes you watch kids shows, and you're just like, oh boy, and it's like, all right, you gotta keep the 5-year-olds laughing. Like, yeah, I get it, but like, now when they do the kiddie humor, I'm like, yeah, it's Superman. Okay. Don't even piss me off. I'm just like, yeah.
Right. Doesn't faze you. I got you.
It's pissing me. All right, I'm gonna move into movies. First, I want to get into this month's A24 IMAX movie, which was Oasis Supersonic. It was a documentary in full IMAX on Oasis. Noel and Liam should not be around people. Like, these motherfuckers are crazy. Like, the fact they're allowed to just walk around, these boys need to be institutionalized, quite honest with you.
I mean, look, they make good music. Yeah, well, like, just because you're a good artist doesn't mean you're a good person.
Then like Noel got jealous of Liam because Noel would throw tantrums and just go off stage because he's like, I'm tired of singing for all these people. And he would go off stage, and then the band would all look at each other like, okay, well, and Liam started singing. And so Liam was writing the songs and was the guitarist. And now that Liam's singing, Noel's like, the fuck, I'm the lead singer. I don't know. It made me feel some type of way that he started singing. I was like, well, nigga, he started singing because you would leave in the middle of performances.
Yeah, like, and you didn't give him really a choice.
Yeah, and they ain't like y'all were like all like on in on it. Like, even the other band members are like, yo, Liam, what's good with Noel? We gotta continue this show. Like, listen, Noel, the way they're both the way they are is because Noel was snorting crystal meth and was just treating Liam like shit. And Liam clearly has something wrong, right? Upstairs.
Right.
So it got to him. That's the point. This was like on their first tour where he was just like, you know, I came out here on this tour and I was like ready to do anything for my brother and my fellow bandmates because I love these guys. They were my family. And then after this whole situation, I realized it wasn't me and them. It's just them and me. And all I have is me. And I was just like, damn, this nigga snorting crystal meth, being a fucking cocksucker, like made his brother literally insane.
Jesus. So I mean, is the documentary like, is it shot well? Is it worth IMAX? Like, I was like,
the sound mix was good. Like, it took up the entire IMAX screen, but I think this could have went a little deeper than what it does. Honestly, it's mostly archival footage, and it provides voiceover narration from interviews.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how the whole thing is structured. Yeah, Supersonic. It's about Oasis. Moving on, I want to talk about Eyewitness, another neo-noir on the neo-noir channel with on Criterion. Eyewitness 1981, starring, who was that? That's Sigourney by Peter Yates, written directed by Peter Yates, starring Sigourney Weaver and oh man, what's my man's name? William Hurt, R.I.P. William Hurt. Christopher Plummer's in it. James Woods is in it, and I was just like, oh yeah, well, he played a character he would exactly become 40 years later.
Okay.
Yeah, his character is
like uber conservative, crazy,
racist. Yeah,
racist. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So basically, William Hurt plays a janitor. He works in this big corporation. He's a Vietnam War vet. He's 32. He's like, I love being a janitor because nobody's breathing down my neck. I get paid great money. I just collect trash and buff floors and then make I forget what I used to make those too when I worked at a grocery store where you put all the cardboard in and like the bale.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he does that. And he's like, yeah, I love my job. One of the people whose corporation runs the building, the head of the corporation, is mysteriously dead. He comes across his body. He's like, oh shit, this nigga's dead. And Sigourney Weaver is a TV anchor he's in love with. So like he starts saying like, yeah, I know more about this, but you know, you gotta go on dates with me and I'll give you the exclusive. And that shit blows up in his face.
Okay.
Because now niggas really think he knows shit he don't know anything about. He just happened to come across dude's dead body, and now he's going around saying he knows more than he truly does just to smash Sigourney Weaver. And Sigourney Weaver does look good in this movie. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you.
I mean, this sounds like an interesting concept, and I'm fascinated by the fact that, you know, back in the day, they had white janitors.
Yeah. Who actually like doing their job. Like my man's whistling Dixie, riding the trash can around the halls on some real jackass shit.
But yeah, no, this sounds like classic neo-noir. It sounds like classic noir.
Yeah. It's an okay movie.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an okay movie. Well made though, because I'm not surprised it's Peter Yates, but now I understand why this movie's also forgotten. I'm like, for as stacked as this cast is, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with perfectly fine. Sometimes a movie is just a movie. It's not revelatory. It's just like, it's entertainment. I saw it once. Hopefully it made some money.
Never need to see it again. Oh no, this was a brick.
Oh, this was a brick?
Yeah.
Even for 81, this was a brick?
No, this was 71.
71? Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Look, man. Wow. Or excuse me, you were right. 1981.
Yeah. So like, yeah, but you know, 81 money, that's, you know, it didn't have to. What is considered a brick in 81?
I don't know, because I did read the Wikipedia page and they were like,
it's like, it was, they made it.
Even critics forgot about this motherfucker. I watched it and I was like, yeah, I get it. Like, I'm going to try and get through the rest of the neo-noir channel, but I'm also like, man, I kind of want to take a break from this shit.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's why I had to take, like, yeah, I tell myself I want to binge all this shit, right? Like I do a theme,
Right.
but then you get halfway through it, it's like I don't want to do this anymore.
Yo, listen.
Right? Like I need to change it up.
This is why I hate having Criterion channel, because I always get sucked in, because next month they have a P.T. Anderson channel, and Criterion channel is now, it moved from Amazon, and now Criterion has the rights until further notice. They have the streaming rights for Licorice Pizza. So if you want to watch Licorice Pizza, you can only watch it on Criterion.
Okay, I haven't been into that P.T. Anderson.
Shout out to Criterion. I don't know how you went over Amazon, but you know, because everybody forgets Licorice Pizza is an Amazon movie now.
They produced it.
They bought MGM.
Oh, that's right. It's so fucking incestuous now. Like everybody's buying it. It's hard to keep fucking track.
So, moving on, rewatched Logan, and you know, like it is still like the best Wolverine movies. Like it's still the best X-Men movie, honestly. It's still, like, period. Like
yeah. I mean, and we'll talk about that in the main review. But like, right, we talked about this on the train.
So, moving on from Logan, I rewatched Deadpool 1 and 2, and again, this is why I never wanted to rewatch these movies, because I had a feeling this was going to happen. It doesn't hold up well on rewatches, but they're still entertaining. Like, they're just still entertaining, but like, I'm just like, yeah, I would be good if I never saw these again.
Yeah, and like I rewatched a couple of weeks ago. They're not nearly as funny, right?
Because the jokes it falls into the Shrek trap of pop references.
Right. But they are entertaining. Like they're still entertaining. I just hated the kid in the second one. What was it? He was in that
Fire Fist. Yeah.
Fucking. I don't think he's a good actor. And
Julian Denson.
Yeah, and he played it too angry.
So moving on, rewatched Twisters in Dolby Cinema because I wanted to do 4DX, and then I saw the 4DX prices, and I was like, wait, why am I going to pay all this money for a movie I don't fucking like when I could just do A-list and have the seats rumble when I see this shit? And yeah, Dolby Cinema, good experience. The seats do rumble a lot, and the sound is great, but like the movie, this rewatch made me like the movie less. Like it is literally, there's even lines of dialogue that are lifted from the original that they use in this. Even style, like I didn't realize this till I read an article. They even took style choices, like whole ass outfits from the first movie and put it on characters in the second movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And what really pissed me off is Lee Isaac Chung's reasoning. Well, for two reasonings. Let's get into the climate change real quick. He didn't want to mention climate change because he didn't want to piss off the conservatives. But you know how you handle that? You could have just said, yeah, the climate is producing these crazy ass tornadoes that's going to happen over the course of this week. They literally say that in the original.
Right. Like, you don't have to. Well, anyway, like, science isn't political. It's fucking science.
Right.
But,
and I don't think anybody would have gave a fuck if they just worded it that way.
Right. Just fucking, if the dude saying it is wearing a cowboy hat, these motherfuckers won't care.
Yeah, man.
Right.
And so that was one thing. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, Lee Isaac Chung, after I read that, I was like, Lee Isaac Chung should have not made this movie. I don't think this was for him.
Right.
And then the second reasoning is I know the ladies love it for Glenn Powell's wet white t-shirt, but hearing Lee Isaac Chung's reasoning for it, where he was just like, yeah, I was told white in the rain looks poetic and beautiful, so that's why I wanted to shoot it. And then I watched it and I saw the reactions from all my producers in the room, and I was like, oh, it's poetic and beautiful for different reasons. And I was just like, man, you're making a movie about tornadoes. Like, don't think that deep. Like, right. The fact that you're thinking that deep, I'm like, dog, you're not. Minari's a great movie. This ain't Minari, dog.
And like the white t-shirt in the rain, Ryan Reynolds did it in The Notebook, right? And we all know how that turned out. Oh, Gosling. That's right. Gosling. One of the Ryans.
Both Canadian.
And I can imagine the producers like just rubbing their hands together.
Especially,
like, yeah, it's real. It's gonna be real poetic.
Especially when you hear the reactions from the lady producers, the female producers, and he's describing the reactions from the female producers. I'm like, well, yeah, man. Like, what'd you expect?
Yeah, but ladies do better. Like, don't
I feel real,
do better than us.
Like, I feel real bad for Glenn Powell because, like, every time he's asked about it, you could see like he's being a good sport, but he's also very uncomfortable about it. Like, he's tired of talking about it, and he's uncomfortable. And now I feel like I understand what ladies go through, where every time an actress is asked about, like, well, what was it like doing this nude scene, huh? I'm just like, man, can y'all ask anything about anything else besides the nudity? I was like, damn, now I know how fucking women feel every time they're asked about nudity. I'm like, bro, can we ask anything besides the nudity? Like, I like remember when Halle Berry did it for Monsters Ball and Swordfish, and those were the only questions people asked. I'm like, y'all not going to talk about anything else in these movies,
right?
Or every time Sydney Sweeney goes out, you're like, so like, we're gonna see your tits in Euphoria season 3? How about my skills as an actress instead of my tits?
And yeah, like, and I get it. Like, we've been doing it to women since forever. But you know, ladies, be better than us. Yeah, like be the change you want.
Only reason I'm bringing this up is because I see how uncomfortable Glenn Powell gets, and that's how I feel when I'm anxious and uncomfortable. I react in the same way in the same situation. Just look down, try to put a smile on, and just be like,
it's like we blew up fireworks inside a tornado. That was cool.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You know what's fucking cool? Driving a fucking car through a house. You know what's fucking cool? Dodging tractors. You know what's cool? Watching a cow fly through the air. You know what's cool? Dropping a fucking oil tanker and having that motherfucker explode. You know what's cool? A house collapsing in on itself. Come back to me when you have that shit in your movie.
Shit.
Fuck out of here. Also, finally got to see MAXXXINE properly, and yeah, I like it. Like, I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's
nice 80s throwback. I like it.
As like this whole entire series as a trilogy, it works. You know, with varying degrees. None of these movies are bad, and like they're good in different ways.
I'm just glad. There's never been a good slasher franchise, right? There's been iconic slasher films, but never a whole franchise where every single movie's been good. We finally have one.
Yeah, and I think this works because honestly, every single movie is a different subgenre.
Right.
Like, I think that's why it works.
70s exploitation porn for the first one. Pearl, it's a Technicolor melodrama, and now this one, it's like a 80s vaporwave trash film.
Right, yeah.
Like it's the stag. It's supposed to make like stag films and shit.
Yeah, so like because they're each technically different movies within the same storyline, it works.
I will say the camera work in this motherfucker is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you had told me that this was made in 1986, I would totally believe you. Like that's how intricate Ty West got with this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I laughed at the joke too, where Buster Keaton, the rapist Buster Keaton, where she turns around and whips out the gun. She's like, all right, now drop it, Buster. I didn't even catch it the first time.
Oh wow!
Like that shit made me laugh hard as fuck. Because that's what they used to say. Like, shut up, Buster, or take that, Buster. Like the fact that she said, "Drop it, Buster," and it's a dude dressed as Buster Keaton, it's fine because he's on Hollywood Boulevard.
I didn't even make that connection. Holy shit!
Yeah, I was watching all the little references they were dropping in this motherfucker.
All right, look at Ty West. He's gotten much better.
I was like, damn, homie has a sense of humor, because that's some straight, like, cheesy humor, but it works so well.
All right. fucking Ty West.
So yeah, Maxie, I liked it.
Okay.
All right, let's. So we're gonna skip over trailers just because we want to get into our review for Deadpool and Wolverine, and Jeff will talk about the Joker trailer next week.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blerds feature film review.
All right, Deadpool and Wolverine. This was originally supposed to come out May 3rd, like kick off the summer. And now watching, I'm like, well, I'm glad y'all didn't, because it's like clearly this is going to carry up until September. Like this is going to single-handedly carry the entire summer.
Right. I like honestly, if this had come out in May, like all these other movies would have just gotten decimated.
Yeah, man. And like now I'm just like, yeah, the fuck were y'all thinking dropping Twisters the week before this, motherfucker?
Right, because like all the theaters that were doing the 4DX, which is honestly the only way you're probably going to enjoy that fucking movie, are getting eaten up by Deadpool.
I'm saying, man, because like, yo, think about it. People coming all high out of this, like, damn, I love. Like, let's go see the Fall Guy. Let's go see another action comedy. Right. Like, let's go see the Fall Guy. I'm like, I don't think it's real. And that one's PG-13, so y'all would have easily made that money. Like, y'all fucked up, man.
Right. We talked about this last week. Like, if you motherfuckers would just collaborate, right, and schedule accordingly, like schedule like a film festival. Right? Like one thing leads into another, like you could all eat. But nah, you all motherfuckers won't be selfish. And this is what happens. Fucking Deadpool and Wolverine comes in and is gonna eat your lunch.
Yo, listen, this has happened before, right? Every time a new Star Wars movie came out, they would put out a Jumanji movie, and that Jumanji movie would ride off the back of Star Wars. Mamma Mia came out the same weekend as The Dark Knight, rode off the back of The Dark Knight, because women also had, I was like, you know, either the husband's like, yo, I'll make it up to you, let's go see it, or they'd be like, all right, here's your ticket to Mamma Mia, I'll see you later, and runs into The Dark Knight.
Right, but like if they had planned
year, Barbie and Oppenheimer.
If they had planned it right, these motherfuckers would like all rising tides raise all boats or whatever like that, right?
Yeah, yo, listen, there's a reason why it's called counter programming, and it's a reason why it works. Like clearly, one's gonna be the winner, but you need to feed off the winner.
Right,
like a Barnacle or Barnacle or whatever.
Barnacle, whatever.
Barnacle, yeah.
Fucking see shit.
That eats their parasites.
So here's the thing. It is hard to talk about Wolverine and Deadpool without spoiling.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to try to keep it real nebulous, right?
Right, because we're going to do a whole spoiler review later.
Right. So not only is this the best Deadpool movie,
it's the most fun.
It was like, what?
It's the most violent.
It's the most violent, but actually, it's an actual good movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like all of the Deadpool movies have been entertaining. This is an actual fucking movie.
The reason why this works for me in a lot of ways is because it does what Multiverse of Madness did, but much better. And even I think I like No Way Home a lot. I think this executes No Way Home also much better. Maybe it's because the emotional shit is just much better in this, and the story is actually better.
Yeah, I mean, like this is the best Marvel movie since fucking Guardians 3. Honestly.
Right. And before Guardians 3, it's a question mark.
Right. Like it's good.
And like I said before, even though it says a Kevin Feige production, this is a Ryan Reynolds movie, first and
100%.
foremost. Like this ain't a Kevin Feige movie. This is a Ryan Reynolds movie.
Like, and they even make a joke in the movie about like, all right, Kevin said we're not allowed to do any coke.
Oh, yep. Even down to the filming, like real quick, I want to talk about the production history. Ryan Reynolds wanted to film in Vancouver because he's like, yeah, I'd love to shoot in Canada, make it, hometown, homecoming. And he was just like, yeah, that's the one thing I had to learn is like, yeah, everything has to happen through, as he called it, Marvel infrastructure. So go shoot on their sets. But then eventually, even Hugh Jackman and Sean Levy came in and helped and pushed back. So they actually got to build sets and shoot on locations. Same thing as James Gunn. He got to build sets and shoot on locations. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Maybe stop shooting everything in fucking Atlanta and see why people like these two movies and go to fucking actual locations and build sets. That's all I'm going to say. Because, I mean, it works.
It fucking shows.
And you thought he would have learned that after Eternals, where he was so blown away. Like, my God, that is an actual sunset she shot. And we're all sitting here like, yeah, nigga, like
and sunset's a free motherfucker. Like, you don't have to program that shit or nothing. Like, it happens the same time every day.
Like,
right?
Like it's wild how that nigga's mind works. Because reading the development, like, apparently Ryan Reynolds would call him every day, pitching him different ideas for Deadpool, and he would just reject them. Like, some of them shits were funny. Like, one of them was a musical where they were gonna do like old timey musicals. And I was like, that's funny because I get what he's doing. He's going to make fun of Disney. Right. He's just like, no. And he's like, well, how about we have Wolverine? He's like, it's impossible. We can't do Wolverine. And he's like, what do you mean? You guys have the rights to the character. Like, we could do it. He's like, that is impossible. And he's like, I don't even know how your character would fit into the MCU. I don't know how the X-Men would fit into the MCU. And I'm just like, dude, you built this. I don't understand how a dude who got Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk in one movie and have it make sense, and y'all having trouble putting mutants in this universe.
Right. And like,
that makes no sense to me, man. I was just like, dude, how are you this brainless or unimaginative and you built this whole thing?
Just because you're a comic book fan doesn't mean you're creative, right? And that shows. They figured out a way to do this. They figured out a way to make this. They found out a smart way to do this. And don't believe the hype when they say this is going to change the MCU.
Yeah. This is literally like Multiverse of Madness, where you're going to walk in and be like, oh, okay, that was pretty inconsequential, but this has much more weight and stakes to it.
Right. The way they executed this opens up things.
Possibilities. Whereas Doctor Strange, everything felt so weightless where I was just like, oh, none of this fucking matters, but everything in this motherfucker matters.
Right. Like, and unlike Multiverse of Madness, unlike all these other movies where like you have these cameos that mean nothing, right? Every cameo, every surprise, and there are a fucking million of them. It makes sense narratively. There's nothing in here, surprise-wise, that doesn't propel the story forward. And I think that's why this movie is so good, because they did the fan service in a way to please the fans, but not fuck the story.
There's two cameos where I audibly, and I very rarely did this, but I audibly went, yeah, when the two of them motherfuckers walked out. I was like, yeah.
So like, audibly. we were supposed to be in a preview screening, but like somehow nerds got their way in, right? And all through the movie, the two nerds in front of me, they're just like talking and reacting. It's like, oh my God, oh, throughout the whole entire fucking movie. And I was like, okay, I want to strangle you two motherfuckers, right? Calm the fuck down. But when those two cameos showed up, even our whole entire row was like, fuck yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you, bro. When they first showed up, I was just like, how are y'all looking like you're about to have heart attacks? And I'm in better shape. and I made it okay. Like, I gave myself 5 minutes to like catch my breath, and then I was like, all right, I'm cool. And these motherfuckers for like 10 minutes were like wiping sweat, and I'm like, damn, bro, like I'm bigger than y'all and in better shape.
Yeah, I like, and I don't know if I said it in the last show, but I've definitely been telling everybody this. The only thing worse than a Deadpool fan is a Wolverine fan.
Ooh, you proved that right last night, because that motherfucker had Wolverine hair, and I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ!
Like he was with the flannel on and the tight jeans, and like he was a big dude. And I'm like, you realize it's 85 degrees out, dog. Right? Like, I know you got the full Wolverine thing going on, but it's hot.
I guess that motherfucker thought he was getting into premiere, because there were some critics at the premiere, and who they picked and choose to go to the premiere, I'm so confused by, because there were some top name critics in our screening last night.
Right.
And meanwhile, there's critics for some janky outlets who are actually at the premiere. And I'm just
and here's the thing. We're down the street. Our premiere was down the street from... Like, our screening was down the street from the premiere, like literally like a block.
I had to fight my way through Lincoln Center to get to the theater. Like, there was teenage girls breaking down crying over Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. And I'm just like, bro, y'all are 14. Ryan Reynolds is 45. Hugh Jackman is like 60. Calm your ass down. Like, me and some woman, we look at these motherfuckers, are like, calm your ass down. Like, if it was BTS or some other like pop band, I'd be like, hey man, I get it. Y'all just entered high school. I get it. But like, I'm like, yo, these niggas are old, and y'all barely can take a piss.
Look, if Ryan Reynolds even talked to them the wrong way, he's going to jail.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's exactly why I mean. That's why exactly why I mean them. That's exactly why me and that lady looked at them like, are y'all serious?
This, I can't stress this enough, right? So Logan is the best X-Men movie, the best Wolverine movie. Deadpool and Wolverine is the best Wolverine has been, right? When it comes to like his arc and the pathos, like, this is, for a movie with a bunch of dick and fart jokes, it is surprisingly emotional.
I would like to also say, this is now 2 Deadpool movies in a row where they've made fun of the end of Logan, and I'm just like, yo, listen, y'all are stretching this joke thin. Like, that, the opening, I was like, this is a cool fight, but like, y'all are stretching this thin, because y'all spent the last movie like doing jokes about that shit.
But then they bring it back, right? Nothing that they do in this movie, they don't bring it back at the end.
That's
right?
true. Like, that's true.
Right? There are no fucking throwaway jokes. Honestly.
I will say this too. There's going to be some confusion over the cameos, because some of those cameos are played by different actors. And I just want to say, money. Like, they couldn't figure out the money shit. So like,
right,
bitch. You know who I'm talking about? The viral video.
Yeah.
Bitch, yeah. The original dude, they couldn't reach an agreement, and I was just like, I don't understand why. I'm like, nigga, you haven't done shit in years. What do you need to get paid for?
Some people were in it for the money. Some people were obviously in it for the fun. Like, there was one cameo, like, I want to talk. I'm so excited about all the cameos in this. Right? I want to fucking talk about it.
Yeah, because the one cameo, I'm like, yo, give that motherfucker his own movie.
Right?
The other cameo, I'm just like, oh, y'all should probably cancel this movie. I was just like, yo, that shit's done, dog. Like, y'all. Watch Loki. Like, you don't really have to watch anything, even though they heavily reference Logan and the first 2 Deadpools, to the point where there's clips from the first 2 Deadpools in this. Right. But definitely watch. The only homework you have to do, and I mean like absolutely do it, is Loki season 1 and 2.
Yeah, and like, just to understand how it works, Right? Like,
because they
like
don't bother explaining anything that goes on with the TVA, bro.
Right, exactly. But like, if you know, you know. Yeah.
Also, shout out to Matthew McFadden. He's just playing Tom Wambsbach as in the TVA, and I'm just like, yo, keep putting him in shit as Tom Wambsbach. You know what would have been great? Even when he came on screen, they played the Succession theme song. That shit would have been funny as fuck. They should have did that. Because there's one rights for one character where I'm just like, that must have been a nightmare to pull off that specific version of that character. So they should have worked with that studio on just using Succession real quick. The theme.
Look, there's, like we said, it is hard to talk about this movie without talking about the surprises. And like, stay off. Like, this episode,
stay off
probably
the internet.
Stay off the internet. Still, like, honestly, 100% stay off the internet until you see this shit.
Like, I'll tell you what, Jeff, because goes back to development. The only thing that saved this movie, because Ryan Reynolds hit a wall with trying to get this movie made and Kevin being like, the only thing that literally saved this movie was Hugh Jackman being like, yeah, Ryan, I'll do it. Like, I took a long drive. I jogged on the beach. I meditated. Yeah, I'll do it. So him literally coming up on the lot just as Ryan's going to be like, yeah, Deadpool 3 is going to be canceled. Fuck this. Was Hugh being like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. And
so Hugh Jackman single-handedly saved Deadpool 3.
Yeah. And this will make cinema history because this movie, it washes away the last four, like, not tactically, right? Not like on a reset type of thing, but just spiritually. Like, it's washed away the last 4 years of Marvel movies, honestly.
And it also puts the period on the Fox universe.
Yeah.
Like, it puts a hard period on there. And I was just like, even during the credits, it's like a tribute.
Right, yeah. This is what happens when Kevin Feige steps out of the way.
Yeah.
Like,
so let's give you a quick plot synopsis without spoiling too much. So Deadpool finds out his timeline is in trouble from the TVA, and now he ends up traveling through the multiverse and teaming up with a variant of Wolverine to save his universe. So
and that's about all we can say. Without,
and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say, because even when he's traveling through the multiverse for Wolverine, there's a lot of shit in there, and there's one Wolverine specifically that all I'm gonna say is, when it comes time to do a proper X-Men movie or introduce Wolverine properly,
that's the motherfucker.
X-Men, you call him back and he's Wolverine. Fuck that.
Like, when he showed up, like, there are so many moments when the audience just fucking erupted, right? And it's just not just comic book nerds, but just like film fans, right?
So when that dude showed up as Wolverine, I was just like, he's Wolverine, bro. Like, once
100%.
Because I have a feeling, like, obviously he was gonna come back for Secret Wars. Like, I think that's basically known. But like, after Secret Wars, like, because I have a feeling after Secret Wars, he's like, yeah, I'm done. Like, there's no reason for me to do this anymore.
Unless we get, like, every 2 or 3 years, we get another Deadpool and Wolverine movie, right?
Right, which I doubt, because I've heard the pitch for Deadpool 4, and I'm like, yeah, because they had a whole comic book series together.
Right.
So, but as far as X-Men, like 616, now that's what the MCU is known as, which is bullshit. So Universe 616, that's the Wolverine that y'all are gonna use.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I want he after everything this dude's been through, like, he deserves it.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know what? Him showing up real quick, I was just like, that is the scariest Wolverine, scarier than Hugh Jackman.
Like, because going back and watching that first X-Men is like, this motherfucker doesn't, like, Hugh Jackman back in 2000, that motherfucker doesn't look hard as anything. Like, that's not That's Wolverine, but that's like a little Wolverine pup, right?
Well, I mean,
right?
That's the thing. That's the one thing people were complaining about was how big Hugh Jackman was, and how Wolverine is a tiny dude, and they make fun of that shit in this.
Yeah.
You'll see.
All of your fan complaints, they say fuck you. Honestly,
some of these cuts were so deep that I was confused, and we were talking about it last night. And you were like, no, it's that. And I was like, oh, see, I don't even know that. Like, your comic history ran deeper than mine. I was like, yeah, I fucking didn't know that shit.
Like, when it comes to the X-Men, like that specific run of the X-Men, like my knowledge runs deep. And when you see this, right, like some of these Wolverine variants, I was like, oh, fuck, they went there.
Bro, there's one cameo where it happens, and I was just like, holy shit, they got him back. And then when it's revealed about what's really going on, normally when they pull that shit, it deflates the air out of the room.
Right.
But when that happened, everybody was still hyped. They're just like, oh shit.
This is it is a great movie, right?
Because
like
he even said he would never come back. And when now after seeing it, I was like, okay, now I understand why he came back. I get it. Look,
like I said, we can only talk so much about this fucking movie without ruining it, because there is a lot going on.
Yeah, and right? I really don't want to ruin anything, honestly. Yeah. This has a 2-week run in IMAX, and I will say, like, give yourself the full 2 weeks and stay off the internet. Like, there's nothing's going to happen, honestly. Nothing that you're not going to see. If it's breaking news, you're going to get the breaking news alert on your phone, right? Or hear about people talking about it.
Yeah, because I honestly, after Thursday, I like when everybody gets to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be a shit show because people are assholes. Also, they spoiled one of the cameos because they put out a final trailer on Friday, and outlets were running it with the cameo headline in the cameo in the headline. And I was I was like, come on, y'all. I was like, I didn't even watch the trailer, and y'all just putting that in the headlines.
Yeah,
like, Jesus Christ, y'all. Like, fine, if they want to give it away, fine, but let people watch the trailer to find that shit out. Like, that shit pissed me off. So when that character showed up in the film and everybody started clapping, it was hard for me to clap because I was like, well,
it's like I knew it was going to happen.
It was a big spoiler, and
yeah, honestly, like, this is we're recording this on Tuesday.
It's going to drop same day.
Yeah, it's going to drop same day. Like, even if you have to see a fucking midnight show, whatever, you owe it to yourself to kind of watch this before the end of the weekend. I feel bad for my brother because we're not going to get to it till next Saturday. Yeah, he's going to have to live like a fucking monk. Like,
I told him, like, yo, stay off the internet, dog. Just stay off the internet because motherfuckers will spoil this shit.
Yeah, 100%. Like, this is, and I feel bad for people who are gonna have this shit ruined for them because because it is special.
But now that the shine wore off, because I had some time to marinate on it and sleep on it, I'm like, it's a good movie. You know what I mean? Like, I walked out of it, I'm like, damn, this is a great movie. And now that I got time to marinate it and sleep on it, and the surprise and the luster of the surprise has worn off, I'm like, yeah, it's a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
I think it's like, what's between good and great, right? Like,
excellent.
Yeah, it's excellent. To me, it's like it gave me everything I wanted. It didn't insult my intelligence. It was entertaining. It was fun. It was emotional. It felt like, honestly, this felt like the second best X-Men movie.
I'm glad that the meta-ness of Deadpool and the situation is all directed at the situation and what we're watching.
Right.
Because it's usually pop culture references in the first two. And this one, like the fact that he has a whole fourth wall break to say how shitty the MCU has been, and then later on saying, fuck you, Fox, fuck it, suck it, take it, yes, fuck you. I was just like, oh man. You know that's Ryan Reynolds really for real about feeling how he felt working with them. Because you watch the first Deadpool and you're just like, damn, they did a lot for a little.
Yeah.
And then you go to Deadpool 2 and you're just like, wait, what?
They did a little for a lot. Yeah.
I was just like, no, you could clearly tell that the budget fucking skyrocketed.
Right.
I was like, God damn, y'all had no faith in that motherfucker.
The fights in this are amazing.
Yeah,
right?
There's two fights between Deadpool and Wolverine. I think they're two of the best fights in Marvel history.
Yeah.
They're my favorite fights of the movie, honestly.
Weren't there 3?
There's probably, I think there was 4, but to me, there's only 2 where I'm like, nah, these 2 fights are amazing.
I don't even want to talk about, like, to find out which ones you think were the best ones.
So I'll just say it, the van.
The van, yeah.
And then the Fox logo.
Yeah.
Those 2 fights.
Yeah. Watch this fucking movie before the end of the weekend, honestly. Like, you can tell everyone fucking cared.
Yeah, man.
Right? And because they didn't have to shoehorn some bullshit in to make another movie, right? They could make this its own thing. I think that's why this shines. Because
it's not setting up 20 movies.
Right, exactly.
Even though there's one thing I hope they do continue with.
Yeah,
with two characters.
We'll talk about that in the spoiler review. But
like my thing too is don't go in expecting some big universe changing shit, because it's not. It is definitely not.
But it opens the door for them to do more creative shit and not fuck up the sacred timeline.
Yeah. Like they need to start pulling like what DC's gonna do, Elseworlds.
Yeah. Yeah, because like that's how this changes the MCU. It allows it to be more interesting and not fuck up whatever plan they thought they had.
It just sucks because now like the next movie we're gonna get is Cap, and I'm just like, damn man, like I want Cap to be good, but I know it's not going to.
It's not right. Like and I know it's 2 different movies, but like you said, this is a Ryan Reynolds movie, and Cap is made by committee.
It's a Kevin Feige movie.
It's a Kevin Feige movie, and yeah, Kevin Feige's not a really good filmmaker.
Yeah, man, I'm just like, yeah, we got that, and then Fantastic Four, and I like Fantastic Four. I'm like, yo, that's the one where more than Captain America, because you could sell Captain America. More than Captain America, they probably should have put well, who knows? Comic-Con is this weekend.
Right.
Like, this weekend is too much going on. You got Deadpool and Wolverine, Comic-Con, and the Olympics.
Oh, the Olympics start this weekend. Huh?
Yeah, and I'm thinking about going to IMAX and watching some of that.
They're showing in IMAX?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was just like, damn, they eat into them Deadpool and Wolverine showtimes.
Oh, shit. So, like, yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say without giving away.
Literally, the entire movie is a spoiler past the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, honestly.
And even like the opening credits itself are a spoiler.
Right.
So, because it tells you how they deal with Logan, which I don't want to get into.
Right. It tells you, it gives you the rules. It honestly, it says why Kevin was an idiot for thinking that this couldn't be done.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, for a dude who built this whole universe, he has no imagination. Before we go, I just want to say, very cool to have Deadpool do some shit though in those opening credits, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. I was kind of like, Maybe have him keep those the whole movie, because that would piss Wolverine off. Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
Watch this goddamn movie.
Yeah, man. I really do like that this is a standalone. It reminds me of Guardians, where like if this was it, this could be like a goodbye to the MCU.
Right, honestly. Like when I say this is the best thing since Guardians 3, I'm not fucking and Guardians 3 was a masterpiece.
Yeah, I'm part of me is just like, yo, quit while you're ahead, man.
Just do this. Just do these offshoot movies. Let motherfuckers just roll. Give and have fun.
Because we might as well spoil it here, because he already said it in interviews. I don't know why he didn't wait till Comic-Con to announce this, but in interviews he just nonchalantly said like, yeah, this is the multiverse saga. Once this is done, we're going to move into the mutant saga. And I'm just like, nigga, you should have saved that for Comic-Con.
Right.
Like, Comic-Con's this week, man.
Right. That's some big news, right? That's
and coming from the dude who gets mad when people say shit.
Right.
Like, that's some shit you hold out on Comic-Con, and especially the news that there will possibly be Solo and Cyclops in a Solo Storm movie. Like, you shut the fuck up, my nigga. That's some shit you announced.
Just
yeah, man. Yeah. Also, it doesn't feel jarring that this is rated R, like R-rated and violent. No. It doesn't feel jarring at all. And honestly, watching it, I'm just like, yeah, y'all need to start making more R-rated content. That's what this told me. And it does not feel out of place for the MCU at all.
I honestly, it feels like I've seen comics more violent than this movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen the blood and guts in the X-Men.
Yeah.
So, like,
I feel bad for Scott Derrickson, because Kevin Feige kept telling him, yo, it has to be PG-13. And he's like, yeah, it's going to be PG-13, but it's going to be a PG-13 horror movie. And I'm just like, now watching this, I'm just like, you should have just let Scott Derrickson do what he wanted to do, dog. Like, if it was gonna be PG-13 anyway, what does it fucking matter? Yeah.
So,
no imagination, motherfucker.
All right, so I got nothing else without spoiling it. Just go out and watch it.
Other than it's wild that Kevin tried to talk Hugh out of doing this. I think that's fucking wild. I wish. Because I want to give the line. I want to. You know what line I'm talking about? Yeah, me too.
I want to say it, but that's gonna spoil it.
Yo, clearly he did not want to make I think this all boils down to is he didn't want to make a Deadpool movie, and he didn't want to make a R-rated movie.
Right.
But you know what? Look, when Iger comes off his throne and is like, yeah, we could do that, and then sits back down on his throne, like
when Xerxes comes down, the God King comes down. Yeah,
it's like, and it's just straight up just is like, yeah, I don't see what the problem is. Like, the first two made like millions, like, hell yeah,
right.
And then he climbs back up the ladder.
It's like, give the little man an R.
All right, man.
Give him his letter.
My man's is so, and the way he gaslit the Russos out of dropping the F word, and then tried to do it to James Gunn, and James Gunn's like, all right, I don't got a problem with that.
It's like, fine, my shit doesn't need it. Right? Like, this movie needs it. This needs all the fucks.
All right. I'm surprised Star-Lord didn't say fuck before, honestly.
Right.
And that was a Chris Pratt ad lib. Because he just got so sick of shooting that scene.
Right. Oh, man.
All right. So that is episode 128.
We're the Film Blerds. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blerds podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.